want to start, Ollie? Do you want to start with a map, first of all?
I mean, the beginning's always a good place to start.
It is. Usually, that's how it starts, isn't it, at the beginning? You don't skip to the end.
Unless it's, I don't know, what do you skip to the end to?
Any good films that start at the end? And then work their way back?
You know when you get some of those sweets, and they've got like a good bit in the middle, like a bit of a chocolate bit in the middle, you'd skip to the end of that, wouldn't you? So, or maybe an ice cream with chocolate in the bottom of the cone.
The Cornetto, classic.
Other ice cream
brands are available. Bank. It is a map that we don't see TT9 play. It's a map that BDS, they'll play it, but it's not always one that we see them on. If you were to look at TT9 at the start of the season, and I think BDS again have done very well with their bans, they got it down to either Bank or Clubhouse. TT9, they had the choice. I think if TT9 were at the start of the season, they would have went to Clubhouse. But look at how the season has went for TT9. The Clubhouse has not been good. It's not been working for them. The map that we've talked about, Jack has obviously talked about a lot, being that 4-map team, really, they can play 4 maps and that's it. Clubhouse would be one they would always play. I think mindset has shifted away for TT9, and I think they probably went into that banning phase thinking, what do we have to lose? It's Bank, we'll give it a go, we'll see what happens. You know, it's not as if it's BDS's top performing maps. You never know. I think that's the mentality that TT9 went in with today.
Looks as though BDS are actually in boot camp for this one. We can see all the players in each other's backgrounds there in the little camera pictures that we've got up. So, boot camp for Super Week seems like a good idea, doesn't it? Especially with things being so tight at the top. TT9 going to start things off here on the defense. The bans. We got the Nook ban that we were expecting. We also got the Azami ban, which is a great ban for Bank. There are so many good places that you can lock down with Azami and those
open area
barricades.
Is a good one.
You think about beepers. We've seen some fantastic keeper barriers played in and around the beepers area, and of course on this top floor as well. Dokkaebi and Mira as the
Dokkaebi's a bit of a preference, isn't it? It's very, very annoying. I think everyone knows the Dokkaebi call goes off, and especially whenever you would assume BDS, whenever they get in the defense, they'll be having a bit of a roam game. It's just going to help those players out, isn't it?
Strange to see top floor picks straight away. We saw Bank last week. We saw Outsiders versus Heroic on Bank, and we didn't see CEO a single time. It's fallen out of preference as a bomb site.
Yeah, it's the windows. Windows really hinder a lot of bomb sites, isn't it? You think a Consulate back in the day, Ollie, you know, the attacker win rate for the top floor was just so good because realistically, attackers, they don't have to do much. You sit in a window, which basically cuts off the majority of the bomb site play at all. There's not much you can do, and that's whenever we start to see sides in Bank, they have to go for the jump outs. They have to play aggressive. Valkyrie being brought in. You can have a bit of info. You can maybe place them inside lobby, see if anyone's watching flanks, for example, and then go for those routes. Look down towards lobby. Look to fire them off the windows and those metal grates that you have, and some of the lobby windows that you have. So yeah, it's what you expect to see from TT9 if they're going upstairs, is that aggressive playstyle.
See you on the other side.
Exodus going to be playing inside a front desk here. He's conscious of that front door. LeakyFact was showing in and around there, playing on the Twitch. BDS seem to be taking their time to set things up here. A lot of drone work going along. We can see drone there inside of stock. Shaco's drone just got taken at the top of elevators as well. So
I do worry a little bit for BDS, just looking at their lineup. Lack of nades is really what they're missing. Sure enough, you have obviously the Flores drones, which will hit the shield, but how are you going to move them out of the position now? You need to get those nades fired in if you're trying to jump in through that double window on that office. So, I mean, for a mission, he just has to sit tight. If anyone tries to push him through Janitor, you've got Cypher holding that cross. So right now, they're set up nicely. Sure, the shield's there, but unless you can physically remove him, he is going to be a pain in the backside for BDS.
Nice smoke there from LeakyFact just to cut the cross and allow him to take control of the top of these square stairs. Can look to drone out a little bit further. He's starting to get a bit of assistance now as well. Cypher feeling the pressure here inside of Janitor. Knows that the windows are an ever-present threat on this site as well. Just going to activate the glasses now and see if there's anything that he can find. Opening kill there going to come in favor of BDS. Shaiko and LeakyFact, the two big hitters, knocking a couple down.
Yeah, they've been able to remove that man a mission, who was going to be the issue. Cypher now knows he has to play aggressive, knows that he's in the man deficit looking for a freebie, and he will get that on to Playday, but then there's the refrag very swiftly from Renshi. Good partnership there from the two support players, just working in motion.
Plenty of time to recover that diffuser now, 30 seconds. There is a bit of information here for WTG, but he's got the SMG-11, does pick off the first onto a Lems. That's huge. Didn't give him a chance to get refragged immediately either. Got plenty more info to go at as he locks this down into a 1v1. How has he separated those two players, Demo? He's got a sliver of HP. He's going up against Renshiro. 10 seconds left. No time to plant. You can forget that. A bulletproof is going to feed all the information that WTG needs. Renshi, he's going to attempt the plant. There's not a lot of time left. He's got no opportunity but to stick it. What a misplay. WTG with the clutch. There we go. That's the TT9 we wanted to see today, kicking things off.
Oh, WTG out of nowhere. No right winning that. No right winning that. There was still, what, a good 25 seconds there for BDS in a 3 versus 1 just to move in and find the final player. What's going on with the communication from BDS? Those are rounds that you never see them lose. What has happened? A knock-on effect from last week still, perhaps? Because we have to take in consideration, Ollie, BDS, they've shown that they could bleed last week.
They certainly did. They bled today as well. WTG, what a great job of separating these up. There was no chance of Alems getting refragged there. We already saw that Shaiko was inside of meeting, or at least on his way to meeting, so he wasn't there to be able to pick up that kill. And look at how much information TT9 had there in the dying few seconds. They had constant pings on Alems jumping into front desk. They had constant info in meeting for Shaiko. Every single one of those kills was a pre-fire and off information. Now, WTG still hit his shots. He got the SMG-11 for goodness sake. He's done a great job. But so much info was just overlooked by BDS. Renshi looked at the bulletproof and then decided to get the plan down.
Referencing again that boy Jack in the desk. Give him another reference. He mentioned at BDS, they play a weird bank. What was weird about that to you? I'll tell you what I thought was weird.
It was a lot.
Where's the window gameplay?
Yeah.
I mentioned windows on that top floor. It's the reason why we don't see that, because you can bring the Aussie, you can bring Sens, for example, and just be a complete nuisance. Where was the window play from BDS? There was a severe lack of it. They tried to play it very old school Siege, where you have to try and move into square, you have to try and open up the wall, you open up the canto position. But then as we've seen WTG, he would have been neutralized by one guy in a window. That's all it takes is one person just to give WTG a knock in the shoulder. Clutching up in bank whenever you have the information is a lot easier whenever you know that you don't have to worry about the windows.
I mean, Scythe was even worried about the windows. He kept looking over there, but there was just nobody there. Certainly strange. Let's see if BDS can redeem themselves here with an attack onto basement.
Good pace already inside server, opened up that wall, but as we know with the way Bank has developed, teams, if you're defending this basement, they will always look for that extension inside of open area. I'm sure people are thinking, oh, well, couldn't you just ignore those players and move into the site and plant? No, you cannot, because the defenders will open up the hatch and you can see a clear angle onto anyone wanting to plant towards that reinforced wall. With no Ossa on the side for BDS, it means that they can't do the kind of cheese plant where you go to the other wall and you can plant safely where the hatch cannot see, but of course then Red can see you as clear as day. So there's going to be pros and cons, of course, and it's always the risk for attackers. Do you want to try and chance the Ossa plant, whether a C4 or impact grenade can really hinder those chances?
BDS seem to have jumped a few steps here in the checklist. They've got the wall open downstairs, they've got control of server, but they still need to flush out these top floor players. Leaky Fac going to get an opportunity, but misses the shot. Exodus finds an important opener here this time for TT9. That's going to alleviate a lot of this pressure for the roamers inside of open, and they're going to be a little bit more confident to wait just a tad longer. WTG picking himself up another kill here, but a pant is going down here by Playday. He's looking to nail that diffuser to the floor and will do so. Look at what BDS have got away with in the chaos here. They are still 2 versus 4. There's still a chance here for TT9, but Breeday's not finished there. Already picks one up onto Nico, looking for his second here onto Exodus, and will find it. Breeday, go on, son. He's going to pick the final kills up as well at this rate. No, eventually gets shut down. A mission sees to it that he will be no longer for this world. Renshiro now has got to try and keep control of this planted diffuser. He's not got long left to go. 13 seconds left on the clock, and a mission, no health to speak of. Can Oryx dash as much as he likes, start to try and disable that diffuser? I think he just got on there in time, but it is not going to matter. 2 rounds, 2 plants, and both teams picking up a round. This one's exciting, Demo.
What a round from BDS. I love that. Obviously, things did not go to plan. I think EFAC missed it there. Should have been an absolute free kill, just wasn't holding a tight enough angle, so it did allow the slip in from Malusi, and then he wasn't ready for Malusi being that close to appear in his vision. But if you looked at the way BDS took hold of that, they knew they were upstairs in open area. Obviously, they had that very swift server entrance. TT9 are happy enough to give them server because as long as you have open area, the plant's not going down. But look at then what BDS did. They then adapted. Generally, at that stage, whenever you take an early server, you will then try and attack open area. Perhaps from upstairs, open up the hatches inside of open area, and just flood out those defenders. But that takes a lot of time, and that's whenever we start to see a sides just lose down to echo drones, for example, smokes that can be brought in as well. But BDS then went for a tellers and archives kind of clear because there wasn't really anything going on for TT9 on that side of the map. They fully reinforced that triple wall, they opened up the Thermite, and as soon as that Thermite charge went down, BDS were in the position just to go for the plant. Because if that wall gets opened up, there's no way anyone from TT9 is going to think, oh, I have to peek the hatch now and stop that plant going down. So it was a whole ruse. It was just a distraction. There was hardly really any pressure from BDS. Somebody could have easily went into the hatch and killed the player planting, but they just didn't catch on. Brilliant from BDS. Bait and switch.
The bait and switch. I mean, you can call it brilliance. You can call it, you know, being mad, being crazy, but sometimes it's a fine line, isn't it, Demo?
It's making the best out of a worst case scenario for them.
Is it almost making the play, or the play will make you? We've seen 2 rounds and already we've got that one in.
Get on a t-shirt.
One of your favourites.
Make it a quote. Well, it's a quote. My quote.
What a lineup from BDS this time.
I love Siege.
They're keeping us guessing here.
I love this.
So they've recognised that information's a bit of a problem.
Yeah.
LeakyFact's been playing the Twitch. We've not seen any value out of the Twitch. Mirror's banned. We're not playing Goyo. Twitch is a little bit of a weird
Valk's open, get the IQ.
Valk's open,
get open.
Bring the IQ, start to try and deal with a bit of that info. Renshi's going to be rocking the Lion as well. Really looking to put a lot of pressure on these roamers in the early part of the round. WTG looking a little bit slippy here at the top of square. Going to be gifted a chance onto Shaiko. He lands in his lap.
Just moments like that for TT9, that's potentially can win them games. Those moments where you just take the chance to see if you can find something. Sure, that could have easily have backfired. There could have been somebody holding, he could have died, but I think TT9, again, the mindset, the mentality of this team is, what do we have to lose? Because they are dead last. They have given us no hope whatsoever in this league. You may as well go for it. Ruin the party for BDS. Go for it.
Play spoiler.
Exactly. And they keep doing it.
I mean, it's early days, isn't it? But WTG will get taken out there. Playday is down but not out.
Look at the time. And there's literally nothing that BDS have really got control of right now.
And BDS haven't really got a lot to get through this either. They've got a couple of secondary hard breach gadgets. Playday is going to use one of those on the hatch. So you can be rest assured that that cafeteria wall isn't going to get opened properly, which is going to be a little bit of a problem later on. Exodus will be droned out, but he's not going to be too concerned. Should be able to rotate back, but no, Lems is there with that important cross. Holding on to those beepers and doesn't look like he's done but a mission. He gave nothing there. You could barely even see him and he shuts the Lems down. Playday now going to start to try and rip open a little bit of that floor. Can look to recover the diffuser, but in 40 seconds, what can BDS attempt to do here? They're going to be pushing through a single door, Demo.
Quad wall isn't open. This is an issue. They haven't brought enough of the hard breach. I mean, there's even mute jammer still on the wall. That time, that early bit of engagement from WTG really slowed down things for BDS. And now with 20 seconds, like you mentioned, Ollie, it's going to be doorway swings. It's just going to come down to sheer gun skill at the end of it. But the difference is that BDS, they're not going to know the positions, Ollie.
Well, they don't know too much, but LeakyFact doesn't need a lot of information to get the job done. Picks up 2. Nico, it looks like he's going to swing on through here. Has he got the info this time? He knows where the plant should be going down, but LeakyFact just comes off it. How does he know, Demo? That must have been a call. There must have been a drone. LeakyFact, 3 huge kills there to lock things up for BDS. Every single one of these rounds is going down to the wire.
I must have missed it. I'll be honest, I didn't see where the second player was from BDS. I don't know if he was getting held. I have no idea. Surely he wasn't being held there because he wouldn't have got off the plant. I have no idea. I missed it. Sorry, everyone. I missed it.
There was a lot going on.
There was a lot going on.
I think they must have been coming in through cafeteria way. Maybe the cafeteria double.
Can we? I might be able to spot on the replay. We'll see. I can maybe do it. I don't know. Well, let's find out. This can be the moment of truth for me.
Yeah, it was.
Right, Renshi come. Okay, Renshi could have held that. Renshi could have held that.
The time was ticking, though.
Risky for me, fuck. He's playing a dangerous game. Very dangerous game.
Back up to the top floor we go. Not seeing the 2 mid-floor sites used here, and not seeing a reattempt down at lockers either.
BDS aren't really bringing quote-unquote meta operators that you'd see for Bank. You know, Offset isn't there, Sens isn't there, even, you know, Ying's available. But then again, are BDS really that side that you'd strike you as the crazy team where they're going to be bringing out these operators which are very niche in what they can achieve, but if done well, a lot of play.
I must admit, I like this lineup a lot more. Double hard breach.
It's consistent. It's consistency.
Double hard breach. Leakyfac, he's off the twitch. He's on something that's got a little bit more use here. Sure, we saw the smoke grenades used a little bit to cover across so we could move in, but you know, you can get away with other things there. Bringing 4 nades this time as well. Nades were a big old problem
to see more nades,
in the previous round. So hopefully for BDS, they'll be able to deal with a little bit more of that information.
It helps the pace the nades. Being able to clear out somebody rather than going for the gunfight, you can just do it at a safe distance, do it at a range.
Well, it's not just that, it's the bulletproofs, it's the vault cameras. You know, they need to be found. You could argue you need to squeeze an IQ into this lineup as well.
Which they did bring, but
that info was
Did they get the value out of the IQ last round? We don't know. Nade missed. I would say for BDS, again, the windows isn't really their concern. They're all about trying to gain control of Square. That is where their entire push is kind of coming from. And as long as the mission is here, they're going to have an issue with taking that control. Of course, can just keep deploying those Wamai charges. The shield will go down, but like we mentioned before, that doesn't really hinder him. He can still play aggressive as long as he had somebody covering on his janitor's door.
Flora's drone there is going to be enough to root him out of position, but doesn't really get put in any sort of danger. Does take a tagged shot as he makes the cross. Still, BDS not wanting to commit to this in terms of a gunfight. They're just trying to move him into an angle, and Lems is going to be holding that really long one through Kanto wall.
All it takes is one person to rotate the skylight and a mission is trapped. Because right now he can't move throughout Kanto. He cannot move into that long corridor. And he also can't escape. We know EFAC has been lurking downstairs for a very long time at the moment. But he's actually left the position. So a mission will remain alive. Maybe if he held that for a few more seconds, Ollie, it would have paid off there for BDS. But I think the calls came in that they need to try and get that soft wall open. And it looks as if they're going to have to use a sledgehammer to do it.
Look what he's got away with, though. He's burnt so much time.
He's got windows instead. So that we will see the window gameplay. 2 players in the window. This is better from BDS. This is what we wanted to see.
But with 45 seconds, is this time to be exploiting these angles? We're going to see a C4 sent out. Alems picks up the first onto Exodus. Leakyfac still looking to try and take advantage on this window, but with Alems fallen, it's going to remove those X-Kairos pellets. A little jump out here from Nico is going to see him pick one up. Should be able to get himself back inside with little difficulty now, especially with only 25 seconds left. Shaiko gets taken out as he rushes to try and pick up the outside
All three are
player.
offside.
Renchi, he's looking to get the plant down. Can he pick up Playday? No, the C4 comes through. WTG, another big round on this CEO site.
So, BDS, they tried to make the adaptations, they tried to play in the windows, but the biggest issue was you lose Alems. Alems just got pinged from that Valkyrie. He's gone. As soon as he falls, the whole tower collapses. There's no lobby pressure, there's no control to stop out the jump outs happening. Like we've seen, the whole thing just collapsed from there.
Attackers need to locate and defuse the bomb.
It happens, and I think BDS, that's twice now that they've lost the top 4. Thankfully, they don't have to go there again. They don't have to attack that for them, but still worrying signs, because as we know for BDS, you'd still expect them, even though it's 2-2, you'd still expect BDS to have a bit of a shift, especially whenever we see them on the defense. So I still have no worries about BDS in this game, but I mean, TT9 just showing some weakness from BDS.
Yeah,
which I hate saying. I don't want to see them be weak.
I would agree. I don't have any fears here. I think the social vote is relatively safe. We saw a 6% for TT9. Don't get me wrong.
For this game, it's not so much about TT9, it's about BDS to bounce back. They took a heavy loss. Heavy loss against a big club side like Rogue. A 7-2 is not good enough for that side. We know that. You need to see the immediate bounce back. As soon as you have a loss, you're straight back up in it. And that, I think, defines big sides, isn't it? It's all about how you respond.
It certainly is. Leakyfac's going to be bringing the Jackal this time. Now, we've seen flex onto a couple of different operators so far, but the Jackal is being brought. Now, previously when we saw this site, BDS did a great job of getting into server and getting the wall open nice and quickly, but they had no roam clear to speak of. The players that were inside of open area...
Yeah, it was minimalistic take, wasn't it, last time?
They were allowed to operate there for a long time. BDS somehow managed to get a plant down in the chaos, but it wasn't good enough. It's not repeatable. They're not looking to try and do that again. Instead, they're going to try a little bit more of a thorough approach, and they're going to try and get this open area cleared out, but just look how much TT9 are committing to holding it. Castle barricades, yokai drones, 2 people playing in there. It's a lot to get through.
I mean, the Echo's going to be picked up by TT9 this round just to stop those plants happening, because they get caught out like that whole bait and switch that I mentioned. They're not going to allow that to happen again because they have the Echo cams. BDS doing a very similar thing. Sure, they haven't got that early server control, but still pressuring in towards Tellers and Archives. They will open up that triple wall, so it does put a bit of pressure now onto Nico, who looks as if he's going to try and play his life here, although he's not falling back out of position. He is going to hold his ground and perhaps sneak a kill, and it could happen.
Absolutely.
There's Nianaclo just running around site right now. He has a lot of info that Shaiko's just gained.
I mean, there's no real reason for Nico to move here. He'd be better off getting a kill at this point. You're halfway through the round. He's still got a mission playing upstairs with him as well. Shaiko's going to look to try and challenge onto this angle. I don't think he knows that there's somebody playing close.
He's
goes for the
back.
nade through. Do see that rotation out, but is Shaiko going to be aware here? Second nade goes
What are
through.
those nades
They're not going to do anything. Like, there's nobody playing in the middle of open. Get some drone info in.
I like this from EFAC. This is good, because this again comes into the whole bait and switch scenario. All of the attention for TT9 will be towards that server. It will be towards the hatch. Are they ready for EFAC just appearing on main stairs? If EFAC could slip in and find Cypher, kill the Echo, that could be huge for this side.
Well, Nico's waiting to collect the player that will eventually drop here through gold. Couple of stuns go out and he will be full white. Leafback can now look to try and push down, get some good shots in, but doesn't deal the finishing blow. Concerned about Garage, but nobody's there. Playday is going to be getting the plant down now as well, and no one's in a position to deny. Scyther picks up the kill, but that's going to allow the plant to go down. You might have picked up 2 kills, but it doesn't matter. You've now got to try and retake. They can throw enough bodies at this if they wish. TT9 do have a big advantage here. Playday, he's going to have to play out of his skin here to try and keep his team alive in this one. Renshi looking to hold things down as well. Grabs 2, but gets shut down. 3 versus 1 now as we see Playday eventually picking up one at the top of square, but no, can't do the rest. Loads of time to disable the diffuser. TT9 successful on this ground, on this basement floor.
But again, it nearly happened, Ollie. It nearly happened, BDS. This time they didn't go for the bait and switch upstairs, they went for the main stairs and the lobby drop, because the whole idea was to keep the Echo off the cams. That was where they were headed. They wanted to deny that, so then they could get the plant down, which happened, but just didn't have enough bodies, could not take the clutch like they did the last round, so all credit to TT9. They've actually been able to hold their ground that time.
Imagine if you'd have had a couple of nades maybe to deal with Nico underneath that gold vault hatch instead of just flashing him. You know, those I keep going back to those nades that Shaiko threw into open. It were just nothing.
They're limp. Did nothing.
You may as well be throwing stuns at that rate because you're going to do more. You're going to at least blind them.
Yeah.
Certainly strange from BDS in their prioritization toward, you know, where their utility's going and what they're pushing. It seems like they've got the hard breach and the planting. All that's down to a T. There's no problems there.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of a problem with this roam clear. And it is just a little bit slow, it's a little bit misdirected, and it's something that will need addressing because, I mean, TT9, if they come away with a 4-2 split here, it'd be fairly reasonable.
Even the rounds that BDS have won, it doesn't feel as though map control has ever firmly been in their grasp.
No, it's been close. Every round's come down to the diffuser, really.
It just feels that BDS are doing bare minimum to try and win rounds. And it's costing them because they're not respecting the roam game. They're not respecting that TT9. They can still shoot their guns. They're still good in that department. They can still kill you. Sure, the strat work from TT9 isn't the greatest, but we know players like Emission, WTG's having a great game today. These are the moments where you will get caught flat-footed if you do not respect sides.
We saw an Amaru, and we saw Leaky Fat get himself straight in upstairs.
Operator roulette with him today.
It really is. I think he's just going for world record on how many different ops he can play. WTG has good info on him, though. He's going to look to try and root him out here of meeting. Is he going to get the chance? Both players see one another, but Alems is there, holding that long window angle yet again. Alems has been pretty solid playing on those windows. He's going to be there again this time, but on the Ash. No need for the Hibana this time. Wall not reinforced, so you can just breach and charge it open, or breach and round it open. I suppose that's job done, really, for BDS here. They've got that opening kill. They've cleared out a little bit of that roam game. They've removed the Mozzie. Still a lot of steps to get through.
Yeah, again, that quad wall wasn't touched last time. But then again, BDS, a lot of their push did come in through the hatch. That's where they wanted to get the plant down, is just dropping the hatch and getting planted in behind that desk. However, Kaid gets brought in, and that hatch now is going to be electrified, and there is nothing that BDS can really do against that, Ollie. Nothing in their lineup that has any EMP disruption.
Instead, going to look for some kills to try and ease the pain a little bit. Exodus, how much info have you got, my friend? Well, you don't need the info if you see the head. Hello, Exodus, you're going to make a play. No, he gets taken out. Lems, he's there to collect. Scyther does take Leaky Fight down. The Lems is going to look to try and trade that one out as well. Damage done to both sides there.
Yeah, it is indeed. Now TT9 have kind of been forced into the bomb site, which is probably where I think this has been the best time we've seen BDS have a bit of map control, actually put a bit of pressure onto the side. You see all of them kind of grouped up. All it takes is a good clutch from BDS. They have more men up, of course, having that kill advantage. It just depends on if they can get this quad wall open, and they will try and slide through some of the nades over the top. Alam's just holding an angle. Will find Nico as he tries to scurry about in the bomb site. And Alam's now rotating himself into another position to hold anyone who may be playing in behind the open area desk right now. Ollie, I think BDS, they should have this one, should they not?
Well, it was looking good until then. Lems is going to get taken out. There's still a chance and still plenty of time, 25 seconds. Scyther will try and keep the players at bay, but doesn't look to be working off too much info. Playday, as ever, is going to try and get that diffuser down. Scyther does it. A great shot there onto Shaiko. He does have a C4 left, but it isn't going to come to too much. Playday plant and the kill is becoming a little bit of a trademark in this game, especially. BDS do manage to recover things somewhat here on these attacks of Bank.
Yeah, that was better from them. Not clean, not saying it was, you know, the great rounds of BDS that we see throughout history, but still, it'll do the job. It gets them the even half. But I don't know, I think TT9 got caught out in the opening engagements, didn't they? We've seen upstairs that Mozzie just gets caught out.
They weren't expecting the aggression, were they?
Yeah, I mean, the Amari comes in.
Yeah. And the drone work that backed that up as well. Lems in conjunction with that. It was all focused on a very quick and concise clear of that top floor.
Yeah, BDS have been quick to get what they want. It's just they haven't really taken a whole lot in terms of context. The size of what they want is very, very small for what they see, the vision of how they want to attack Bank. Now they're going to be on the defense. Again, generally Bank is seen as attacker-sided. We see a lot more attacker wins compared to defense at the moment. But not in this scenario, because TT9 are a very weak attacking side. So I think this is going to be favored for BDS, even though it is the defense.
This is where things will start to change quite significantly, especially you look at the bans. Good bans for attackers, really. You think about what's available, you've got everything available to you here. You lose the Nook, you lose the Dokkaebi, but so what? You can really get around that. What we're going to see here is we're going to see much more meta operators from BDS. Already, they're bringing the Goyo. Already, I mean, we saw TT9 play the Valkyrie, but the Valkyrie is going to be a mainstay here for Shaiko. They're going to be looking to try and really rinse this time, you know, when it gets onto the site, if we do get there.
Just the nades from TT9 are just non-existent, which again, I think is going to cost them. I think you need some form of nades for really any site, especially for the basement. I think you need that to toss them in, clear away any shields that could be up. Anyone perhaps in red is a necessity. You need to get the nades fired in, because generally 9 times out of 10 you'll find some form of a smoke or some form of a C4 operator will be lurking inside of red, ready to get that C4 toss for that plant. So maybe that'll hinder them. I don't really know what TT9 are up to. They've been very heavy focused towards the lobby side of things, and maybe just looking to challenge on to these BDS players. But you have to keep in mind, Ollie, what this does to TT9. It just eats away the time. And this is all about the plants, so the more time you give yourselves to burn through those smoke canisters, to burn through those Goyo canisters, it's going to be great for you.
Absolutely. Lems is just looking to waste time here, and he's done a reasonable job of it. Leaky Fight did get taken out. TT9 have been successful in that clear. They've again exploited that long angle that's available on the window repel. They've pushed a couple of people in and around Banana Desk, and Exodus has got himself into Tellers as well. Can start to work this drone game a little bit. BDS have since fallen off. I do think they lost at least one of the Goyo canisters that was played inside a site as well. I'm not sure if that was a Twitch drone early on that did manage to sneak through and pick that up. It's going to take you a while to search out for the majority of this utility as a mission. It's going to operate now inside of open. Can look to start getting those hatches open as well and start to send a bit of utility down.
It just really comes down to how good TT9 can execute through all of the utility that BDS still have. There's nobody inside a server right now for TT9. That wall remains closed. The Goyo canisters are going to be tricky to eliminate and burn free. And it takes about a good 25 seconds to wait for that fire to leave the room. So it is going to be difficult for them, but maybe TT9 have another idea in mind. Look at Nico right now. Look at the position he's in. He's looking for a slip in towards Garage, perhaps catching BDS by surprise. Whenever Nuke's off the board, you wouldn't really expect to see anyone else crouch walk in towards Garage, but really any operator can do it, Ollie. We know that.
Well, the game might be up now. Shaiko did spot the drone. He's got a yellow ping to be working from as well. BDS are going to try and take that as a double problem as Lems came to assist, but he wasn't required. Shaiko, he's popping off here. He had a quiet time on the attack, but picking up 2 nice kills here in round number 7. Turns his attention to the hatch, where he will be rewarded yet again. No! Scyther takes him out! Wasn't expecting Scyther to get away with that one. A smoke is not going to do it, my friend. You need a bulletproof vest if you're going to try and make that drop. Couple of kills come in. A TK to good to measure. No plant this time, but still all of the available seconds in the round played, as has been the norm between these two sides.
That happens all the time. All the time. Teams do really well with clearing out the roam game, but then it just hits them that, hold on a minute, we don't have enough time to burn through the smokes and burn through the canisters. We just have to drop hatches. And how many times we see teams drop hatches and you're just slower. That's it. As soon as you hit the floor, you are dead. Sometimes they don't even make it to the floor by the time the kill cam comes up. So, yeah. I mean, this was really good from BDS, being able to assess that, hey, there is a guy in Garage, we need to kill him if we have any chance of stopping a plant going down, because really at this stage, if you're BDS, you have to play aggro. You're a man down, 15 seconds to go, you have to start finding some kills to give yourself a bit of confidence inside that round. You need to kill that guy in Garage. You know, they were not waiting for the line to challenge onto them, they were challenging the line before he could get in position.
I mean, it's the only way you've got to do it, isn't it? You, every time you see BDS play Bank, you see Shaiko play that position just at the middle of Garage, underneath hatch inside of open, and he's going to just pivot and switch and pivot and switch, and he's going to peek Garage, he's going to peek servers, Garage servers, main stairs, whatever it might be. You put a dangerous player in that spot, they're going to pick up kills for free all day long. Open area, we head to now for round number 8. See if BDS can start to gain a little bit more of a lead here in this one. Nothing too much has changed in terms of the lineup. We've got the castle this time just to give a little bit more added security. The mute as well, of course, to keep that quad wall safe for as long as possible. TT9 going to have to get themselves in upstairs here and again start to root out some of these roamers. Belt and Brace's approach there on the quad wall demo.
It is indeed. They've really hunkered down. What, 2 Moot Jammers and also both Electro Claws. There is some EMP grenades. You have Nico with the pocket ones on his loadout. Keep in mind, Thatcher is open. Thatcher's right there, but as we know, it's other than the EMP grenades, you know, Thatcher, what, Claymore breaching charges, is that really valuable compared to, you know, having the Lion Scan, which we know, you know, he has Thatcher's gadget as part of his kit and also his global ability, so that's the trade-off a little bit that you have. As we know, can be tricky though with the EMP grenades. Very precise you have to be to make them work. But I think TT9 still a good lineup to bring. I'm happy to see nades. I always think it's good to have them. And right now, this is very nice from TT9. Getting Exodus into the position just to clear out anyone who may not be expecting a quick push from TT9. And surprisingly from BDS, they've all left. They've all just switched off and they've decided, okay, have it. We don't want to be dealing with the vertical pressure.
It's a shame that Lion Scan was a little bit late there. That Lion Scan was a touch earlier. Exodus could have seen a little bit more success. Lems has been allowed to get downstairs, which...
He's just wandering about like he's forgotten his eggs in the grocery.
He does look a little bit caught in the current at the moment. Shaiko will pick up a kill onto a mission. Nice little C4 there. But Lems has now entered that danger territory, I like to call it, where you defend in open area. If you get a defender downstairs in
blue flank.
Oh, goodness gracious me, it can be a problem. They can also rotate through and get up main stairs, and typically you would expect that's somewhere that LeakyFat might play, because he's on the Oryx, he can make that transition a little bit quicker. But Lems is going to be just fine.
They have a flank cam, which is good to know. Just make sure there's somebody sitting on it. I see a mission on a cam. I hope it is the bottom blue. It looks as if it's the bottom blue, because we see a yellow ping, and now WTG will try and eliminate the player below. But Alams is instead rotated just onto the staircase. That cam should still be up. I'm just waiting to see Alams's see his name in the kill feed here any second now, Ollie. It should be an easy one for WTG. Take it, kill him. No! Ow!
Well, Alems picks that one up, and with it, the diffuser drops cold onto the floor. Alems, all he needs to do there is be AFK. He just needs to hold the angle. He doesn't need to push. Pushing it is going to be the worst thing to do there. Scyther will grab him, but there's only 8 seconds left. Playday is still on the site. Shaiko's still up. Playday pops up from out of nowhere. He's hiding in and around the tables. He's going to collect that final kill. What an impact Playda's having in these rounds. He has often been involved in that final engagement, and he is anyway. He's the support player. He's going to be putting up those numbers, but it's that consistent.
You're walking into, he can only be one place. Just pre-fire and you'll kill him.
Put 2 people on it.
Like, Alems, his gun wasn't even up ready for it. Alems was just kind of, again, just wandering about, wasn't he, for the majority of that round?
Put 2 people on it. Solve the problem quickly. You know, drop someone through the hatch aggressively. Have someone peek the staircase, drop someone through the hatch, get a flash in there, do something to try and give yourself the advantage instead of both just swinging it. BDS, 5 rounds to 3. They've started to streak a little bit of a lead here. Are we seeing a panic pick demo?
What is a Monty doing out here?
A little bit of a panic Monty potentially from Emission.
What's a Finka doing out here? What's going on?
We do say that TT9 liked to play Siege from sort of 6 months ago. Maybe
Did not get the memo.
Maybe the Finka pickup is akin to that. I worry when I see lineups like this, especially after attack timeout. This is, you know, it's got pocket strat written all over it. And, you know, pocket strat sometimes can be good for a round, but is it just too predictable at this point?
Monty's really only good for one attack that you can go for on this bomb site, and that is just getting up lobby.
Yeah.
He's really good because you're facing one direction the whole time, and it's just up that staircase. It's good at putting pressure on the Kanto player specifically, which at the moment is going to be that Echo. So as soon as Echo hears a Monty come up, he's going to be trapped. I would say, get your bets on. I would say that Alems is probably going to die in the elevator, or kill them all. It can go one or 2 ways.
He has got a little bit of a support. We do see somebody playing front desk, and I think that Emission knows that there is going to be a Yokai camera up there, and we've at least heard the bulletproof get locked off as well. Renshi is going to be in position to assist here. Oh, we're actually seeing the wall get open now as well, so that is going to put a bit more pressure, really, onto Alems' position.
That's what I'm saying. He's stuck there now, and he can't get out. He's no way of destroying the hatch, so that's him. Pocket shield, though, hasn't placed it down. Could just set up in the elevator. Who knows?
Also, what that's done is it has removed a lot of the hard breach potential from this lineup.
You don't really need it, though, for this attack. That's the only reason you bring hard breach, is just for that counter wall.
But this now has to go right.
Of course it does.
Chiro is going to look to try and play this one a little bit more aggressively. Where's the rest of BDS? Because they could be on the flank here.
There we go. I was going to say, it should be so simple, because it's just a basic utility burn with a nade. That's how easy it is. If TT9 could not do that, it really paints the picture of how they've been playing this in this league. They've done that successfully. There it is. Alems, he was always going to die there. No shadow of a doubt. Echo gone. First kill again for TT9. Monty, still more or less full HP. The information he's going to gain is brilliant. Now what I want to see is somebody in the windows. You need to have a rotation. You have all of this information from a mission. Utilize it. Utilize the information.
Exodus is below, so we've still got the chance of an up nade here, especially if some information can be exchanged. Renshi C4 in hand. We do see somebody playing
Cypher.
below. Scyther.
It's on the windows.
Can get himself onto the windows and try and assist a little bit here. He's got a couple of targets waiting for him.
Pick.
In fact,
Big
will
pick.
take out Exodus. That removes the nade from below. WTG will be able to take Renshiro out though, so that clears up this front desk somewhat. The job still isn't going to be done. Emission. Does he know that someone's right there? Oh, he nearly gives it all away. Shaiko gets an opportunity, but will be taken out on the windows. Now we're seeing the synergy. Now we're seeing a little bit more here out of this TT9 squad. Leakyvac, he's in the 1 versus 4 here, and the plant's going down. 19 seconds left to go. And it's very unlikely that he's going to be able to disrupt this. He's being held from just about every angle imaginable. Going to give himself away here. Doesn't know that there's a player at the top of main stairs. Nico is going to pick him up. Great round from TT9. Yeah. A pocket strat, it did work. We saw the Monty pick. We joke that it's a panic Monty pick, but it really worked there. They had a very clear idea of what they wanted to do with it. Timeout, it's great for a round.
Yeah.
Do more with it. What are you going to do this round that's different?
I enjoyed that round. Great round from TT9. A lot of the basics being done really well. Good opening, using that burn, using the nade to eliminate the Echo. I mean, whenever you lose the Echo for BDS, or if you're up against the Monty, that's a big issue, isn't it? Because obviously we've seen Echoes work really well. Monty walks in and you kind of lay a trap. Okay, as soon as you hear a stun, you swing this Monty with everything you have, and we've seen that be very successful for sides. You lose that Echo, Monty just becomes such a big issue. And realistically, for smoke, you know, we've seen the smoke was being picked. There's a lot of room that Monty can just avoid it. You know, there's multiple ways into that bomb site. You can go down long, you can go through the double door, you can go through banana, which is where he went to. The smoke grenades are not going to be a hindrance to you, because if he smokes off one way, oh, I'll just walk around the other way.
10 seconds to insertion.
We need to see a little bit more out of TT9 attacking this locker site.
5 seconds.
They were able to get the wall open last time, but it all came to
At what cost?
last-ditch attempts.
Moving out to locate a bomb and defuse it.
But again, successful on this opening kill. They've been great at getting that opening kill on their attacks. And it's been hurting BDS. You know, sure, BDS are wasting a little bit of time, but you can't consistently be giving that opening pick away in the trade-off for, you know, a minute, 30 seconds, 40 seconds, whatever it might be.
It's been a very good game. There isn't really anyone, I think, from either team that you can pick out and say, wow, they've been incredible today. I think it's a very good game of Siege, very balanced teams at the moment.
Well, we've not seen a Mission popping off, have we? You know, that he's usually been the talisman player for TT9, and currently 4-7. He's playing.
He's on Thermite, for goodness sake.
You know,
he's been demoted.
Take from that what you will. Instead, it's been much more equally spread across the players.
Yep. But is it enough for TT9? You know, we said that, you know, they're almost there, so close. How many times have they went to 7-5 and been so close to getting points, but it never came for them? Is this it? Could this be the game?
I think this round will tell a lot. 5-5 starts to look a lot better for TT9 than 6-4. All depends on those tertiary sites. Lem's just going to put a couple of shots in Exodus's way. League Fact this time choosing to drop himself off quite quickly. Lems will do the same.
A lot of damage.
Not looking to take an extended challenge up there. Happy with the chip damage that he's done onto Exodus. BDS can retire to the site and start to await the onslaught that is going to be coming. So now TT9's 30 seconds, 40 seconds to really get a bit of work done. We need these hatches open. We need info being gathered. They need to move a lot quicker than they are.
Yeah, half the round was burned there by BDS, and even it's still constantly being burned. That after effect of TT9, making sure the drone workers further, not giving anything away. And finally, we will see somebody inside of server starting to open up those walls, of course. But we know there's going to be a lot of utility still at BDS have on board. The Goyo canisters, which should be getting popped here any moment now. So that's good from WTG. It will give them, what, about 30 seconds after these have cleared to get that plant down successfully. But there is still smoke canisters. There's still C4s, all that they have to burn through. There is still a hefty amount of work that TT9 have to put in, but they've done good at getting, of course, those canisters gone immediately.
It really is a game of burning these C4s now. You can see that BDS are almost lined up, ready just to take turns at it. We've got Shaiko watching onto Garage again, but Renshiro and Alems both with a C4 in pocket. We are going to see a nade thrown in as an attempt here onto Shaiko. A mission is going to be getting that plant down. Where are the C4s, guys? Renshiro, Alems, you've still got some in pocket. The smoke wasn't enough and the plant's gone down. A big blunder there from BDS, not deploying that utility early enough. And now they've got a tricky retake on the hands. Leaky Fact, he's going to be the first player to fall in the post plant, as the hatches can now be held and BDS have to try and scramble. We are seeing a rotation. WTG grabs himself a freebie onto a Lems as he really over-aggresses on that vault, but Playday will be there to trade. We did see a player move upstairs, and they could be looking to try and take out Scyther. And Shiro getting himself into all kinds of engagements here, but look at the clock demo, there's 10 seconds left. There's nowhere near enough time here. A lot of impactless kills coming through. Renshi, may as well keep yourself alive and save that KD at this point. TT9, successful attack downstairs onto the locker site.
Yeah, frustrating for BDS. All the utility in the world, nowhere to use it. Just not in position, not ready for that happening. I don't know, maybe expecting TT9 once that fire cleared out to just wait a little bit. But as soon as that fire was gone, the plant immediately down.
Well, you have to. You've got 40 seconds. You need to bait out Toxic Babes. And there was 3 C4s for BDS.
It just shouldn't happen. It shouldn't happen. It should not happen. Disappointing round for BDS. Again, I really thought they were going to come in here today and just bounce them out. Just, you're done, TT9. That's it. On you go. But no, BDS, they have looked weak today.
If you'd have asked me which game I was looking forward to the most today, I would have probably said Wolves Heroic.
Yep.
I think that for me, that's got the most potential as a game. I didn't look at this game and think, yeah, we'd potentially see an overtime. And that's now looking like a realistic thing. That's looking like a possibility, Demo. Love it.
Worry, worry, worry.
10 seconds left
Anywho,
before insertion.
BDS back downstairs again. Gonna reattempt that.
5 seconds to insertion.
Same lineup. That's it, just exactly the same. No changes at all.
I don't know if they need a change. They had
Reinforcing the hatch as well.
They had all the tools they needed previously to get the job done. They just didn't deploy them. We didn't see C4s thrown to deny the plant. So if they can position themselves a little bit better this time, I get that it's difficult when the wall gets opened that looks into Red Corridor. I get that,
But you can still...
but you've got to take the swing.
You can prone past that.
Yeah, you've got to swing. You've got to try and get past it.
Yeah.
You've got to take the chance. It is not impossible.
Needs to be better from BDS, I must say. My man, EFAC. On the roam, not good enough today at the moment. 5 and 9 Ollie, no real opening kills for him, no real impact in this Oryx, which has been a kind of signature operator for him. We need more from him. He needs to have a good round here if he wants to give BDS that advantage.
Yeah, pretty quiet day at the office for a couple of the big hitters on BDS as well. You look at Shaiko, 6 and 9, didn't really do too much on the attack. Came alive in one of the rounds on the defense and picked up a multi, but not as deadly as we're used to. It just seems like TT9, without the pressure of a relegation, without the pressure of needing points out of the fixture, it's just freed them up to play a much better game of Siege. And it's good to see. We want this to be competitive. No one wants a team sat at the bottom on 0 points for the entire stage.
Exact same round pretty much unveiling before our eyes here, Ollie. We see the quick drop-off from BDS, not wanting to linger. EFAC, there he goes. What's changed? Absolutely nothing. So you would expect the TT9 are just going to do the exact same thing. Open up the angles that they need, start rotating towards server, which again, WTG is going for once more. Just replay the last round. There'll be no difference here.
I mean, if anything, it's a little bit better for TT9.
You reckon? I mean, there is one thing that does worry me, and it's that Valkyrie camera that we just seen from BDS. If TT9 do not see that Valkyrie camera, that's maybe what BDS were lacking, was a bit of information, but then again, they had the Valkyrie last time, so where were the Valkyrie cameras? Is it the same one? If it's the same one, then TT9 should have no issue with it. I have no idea how this is going to go. I have no idea. Let's just watch and see. Let's just see what happens. Probably the best way to put it. So they will open up the wall. Fire's been popped. Is there going to be an immediate plant? Have to wait just a little bit longer. There will be a Toxic Babe and another Toxic Babe. So BDS, you can see this time, Ollie, panicking a little bit, firing out more utility early on.
Well, there's 25 seconds. They can somewhat afford to, but they need to ensure that that plant spot is smoked off for the duration. Final Toxic Babe canister coming in. Exodus is going to be making a little bit of a sneak through Garage here at Mission. He's going to take a little bit of damage. Let's get a flash on through, but will be taken out as kills start to pour in. But the backstab from Exodus has been successful, and Garage has been fully infiltrated here. 3 versus 2. There's not a lot of time. WTG, he's going to try and get this plant down. Predator Lems, they have to try and get it done, and they will. Eventually managing to pick up a couple of those kills there. We saw the C4 get thrown in as a bit of a Hail Mary there in that final kill cam. Tight stuff again. There has been not a lot of separating these end of rounds.
Think of how the planter just got killed. Did he get killed by a Goyo canister, Ollie?
No.
Did he get killed by a smoke canister?
He took a lot of damage from us.
He did, but did he die to it?
No.
Did he die to a C4?
No.
He's died to a gun. How are TT9 allowing the diffuser carrier, get shot? You have all the hatches open, you have somebody hitting Garage. How is Shaiko allowed to find these angles and swing out and get these kills? That shouldn't be happening.
It shouldn't. I mean, you could replay this game and you would see very different results because of how close these end of rounds have been. TT9 are holding up to that pressure as well. Very pressurized in those final 10 seconds. One split-second decision is
as soon as one thing goes wrong,
that's it. Yeah.
It's done. And I think that has been the biggest issue for TT9 is adaptability. The best teams in the league, we've seen them. They can sit there in 2v4s and 3v4s, and maybe they lose 2 players immediately. It could be a 5v3 at the start of the round, 3v5, whatever it is. But they'll still somehow find a way. Can you say the same about TT9? Well, apart from that one clutch that they had, which wasn't really down to somebody playing spectacular.
What, the round number 1?
Yeah.
WTG? I think he played well.
He did play well, but then again, you would expect BDS, being a top-tier side, that should be bread and butter. There's 1v3, shouldn't it?
I think in his position, you would expect a lot of pro players to clutch it because of the info and all that sort of stuff that he had going for him. BDS are on a match point. There is a chance for them to walk away with a full 3 points in. Out. It was mentioned on the desk, but that was obviously a long time ago, seeing as we're about to potentially go into overtime. It was mentioned on the desk that 3 points here for BDS is huge because Heroic and Wolves play later on today.
So there'll be drop points
Three teams on 10 points each. There's a chance for BDS to...
What is an 86% if they win this today or something like that?
Something like that. There's a chance for BDS to really, you know, set themselves apart here, as it were.
Look, let's not put it any other way. You would expect BDS to be at the major. You know, I think...
You would. And you would expect them to win this game.
It's going to happen, yeah.
Last time we saw this site attacked in this way with the Monty and the Finker, it was a very clean round from TT9. Now, there have been some adjustments. We're not seeing the Echo this time. Alems is instead going to be on the Maestro.
This is a mid-floor, though, so you have to take that into consideration. How much impact will the Monty have in pushing in towards these more open rooms that you can have angles being held from main stairs, which is where Alems is going to be situated. How much impact can that Monty have? That's what it comes down to, I think, now with TT9 is, are they going to be able to use this operator in good fashion? Oh, Alems, you knew you were chancing it with the holographic. You knew that's a chance shot and a half.
Oh, you've got the Alder, which is, you know, it's a bit of a truck, but not today.
You have to be good with it if you want to hit those shots, but...
Are you saying he's bad?
No, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying, why would you take that challenge? You know, why would you do that?
Well, that was a challenge worth taking. Vincere does manage to shut WTG down. Monty or not.
Need a refrag here.
It's going to matter.
Nobody from TT9 wanting the refrag? Nope. He's right there. Blatant information.
You'd like to see the top of the wall opened and nades thrown in, wouldn't you, really? The Surrogate is going to get burned again here, and it is going to allow Monty to push in a little bit more aggressively. Just call Renchiro's position out. But again, no one really in position. And the lack of nades, this is where the lack of nades really hurts you.
Get that mute jammer gone. They're not going to be able to do anything until that mute jammer has been neutralized. As long as that wall is going to be closed, Renchi can just keep doing what he's doing and just pester that Monty. Looking for another swing, perhaps. I mean, this is still good for Renchi, just causing so much pain right now for BDS. EFAC has to play big. Does he have any idea about the IQ? Yes, he does. Cypher goes down. One more player situated below him inside of elevator. But EFAC just going to hold his ground. Monty now pushing in very deep. Nico is the diffuser carrier. Is he up for the plant, though? Shaiko has that C4, will be tossed out. Oh, a lot of damage done to him. Mission goes to the swing. Onto that Finker, but no, it will instead be EFAC. He appears out of nowhere and finds Nico. Shaiko will take down that Monty, and Exodus, who was dealing with EFAC, well, he's also gone.
Another round that comes down to the wire there. BDS get the job done here on Bank, but that was not the game that we were expecting. It might have been the scoreline that a lot of people were expecting, but 7-5. Very impressed there with TT9's performance, especially given what is on the line for them here, which is essentially nothing. But for BDS, that game meant a lot.
Yeah.
And it's very important that they got that one closed out inside of